There's something weird about these suits of armor. Come here, check it out.
The bases rotate. Interesting.
Anything in Lawrence's notebook about this?
Let me check.
Wait, let me see. Wait. Yep. Here it is. Hi there, my name is Flavio and welcome back to Dream at Mullet. Today I'm going to show you the entire process of creating the Uncharted 3 journal. As you probably know by now, I am a huge Uncharted fan and I've been either creating or collecting some items of his adventures along the years. Here in my YouTube channel I have two videos about some items that I created, and you can check those out. Those videos are about the Uncharted 2 journal and about the Eldorado coin. So if you are an Uncharted fan too, check those out. In this video I will show you the entire process of creating this journal, going to step by step in all the major phases, and I will try to explain everything I did. So later, if you decide to create a journal like this one, you can use this video as an actual guide. I will also list in the description below the materials I use, so you can have a better idea of what you will probably need. So now let's see how I created the journal. To make the journal in the most authentic way possible, I used the photo mode from the PS4 to capture the photos from the video game The Nathan Drake Collection, while Nathan was using his journal. This method allowed me to get some HD quality photos so I could recreate them in my journal. After the photos were taken, I uploaded them to my pen drive and passed them to my computer, so later I could work on them. In this section I will try to go step by step to show you the process of editing and transforming the image to look closer to the ones we see in Nate's journal. So for this process I used the software Photoshop and went and created a new file with the same dimensions as the pages from the notebook I had. Then I imported one of the images from the journal and selected the area of interest, either if it was a manuscript or just a photo. With that area selected, I passed it to the file and that I had created earlier, and in there I scaled the image to fit the page and used the distort and skew tools to make the photo look like it's straight and not tilted. This method was used for every page, since the photos I took from within the video game were tilted because of the way that Nate was holding the journal. After this method was applied for each page, depending on the type of document, I had two different approaches. If it was a drawing, I used the filter black and white to get only the outlines of the draw and remove the color noise. If it was a picture or a manuscript, I just had to tweak some parameters, for example the contrast levels, the RGB levels, the saturation, etc. Additionally, there were some documents I had to create from scratch, like the newspaper article, the Cartagena Flyer Museum, and the note left from Chloe. And that sums it for the editing and transforming process of creating the third journal of Nate's adventures. Right off the gate, when I was planning on creating this journal, I noticed there were three different types of paper. We have the beige color looking paper, a brown and worn, and some grid paper at the end. Since the notebook I used already had the beige color on the pages, I didn't have to change it. For the brown looking pages, I mixed a teaspoon of coffee in a bit of hot water and applied it using a paintbrush to scatter along the pages. After that, I used some paper towels to absorb the excess and a hair dryer to dry the pages and not let the mixture get to the other pages. This method was also used to make the manuscript and the newspaper article look older. To recreate the grid effect on the last pages of the journal, I went online and searched for some A5 grid pages. Then I went and print them on the transfer paper and traced them over the notebook. And actually I'm very happy how it turned out, because I didn't want to waste time drawing each little square along 8 pages. That will be a nightmare and will take way too long. Before I started to glue the pages and drawing the image, I divided every printed pages and into separate sheets to help me organize the journal, and it was also very helpful when I had to trace over the drawings. Now that I mentioned the drawings, to make the drawings I used the transfer paper and traced them over the pages.
Although this might look very easy in theory, actually this part was the one that took longer to make, because after the drawing was copied to the notebook, I went and used different types of pencils and pens, depending on the effect I wanted to recreate and the draw itself. For example, the shadow and little silhouettes were made using a light carbon pencil. For the outlines, depending on the draw, I opted to use a dark carbon pencil or even a black marker. And for some pages, I use also a brown color pencil to make the journal feel more realistic, since there were some pages that Nate used a brown pencil. For the photos and manuscripts and articles, the process was quicker. I chose where the documents should be placed and applied some glue stick on the area and glued them to the page. And that was pretty much it for the actual recreation of the whole notebook.
here we have the final result of 2 months of working on this journal. I'm over the moon how the journal turned out and very happy to add this collection piece to my Uncharted shrine. I will leave this journal on my Etsy store, and I will leave the link on the description, and you can find it either going through my YouTube front page. I have the little icon on the right, or you can just go to the Etsy website and just type Uncharted journal and you'll probably find it. And now a bit of housekeeping so you know what to expect on the next couple of days on my YouTube channel. I will continue to add more 3D models from the Toy Story movies. At this moment I have 3 models uploaded, Miss and Mr. Potato Head and Slinky. And until the next movie comes out, there is, at least here in Europe, it's the June 19th, I will add at least 3 new models. The next thing I want to mention here is I'm working on a new cosplay item, and this time I'm going to focus on the video game Last of Us, and I'm going to recreate the Ellie's backpack. I already have all the materials, so I was waiting until I get everything done with the Uncharted 3 journal to work on the next project. And of course I will be making a video like I did in this one, explaining everything I did to create the Ellie's backpack. Still in the Last of Us universe, I already have up on my store, on my Etsy store, the Ellie's t-shirt, so if you are a Last of Us fan, check that out. And finally, now that the 3rd journal from Nathan Drake's adventures is done, I will try to recreate the first journal that Nathan Drake had. From what I saw and read, creating this journal is very hard, because there isn't much information on how to create the actual journal, because the images from the video game aren't very clear, so I can't really understand what is in the journal. Nevertheless, I will try to create this journal, and I hope until the end of this month I will get it done. So that's pretty much it. So please subscribe and like this video to support me and support my channel. And thank you for watching, and remember, dream on!